Like everyone talks about Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, and those guys against MVP. I think personally, this is a harder fight for him for MVP than those two guys. I mean,
first off,
go ahead.
Rachmanov's got better stand-up than Colby Covington.
Yeah.
So
he's also a lot more reckless with his stand-up. He's also can mix in his stand-up with his wrestling. Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman are very traditional style stand-up guys. Colby is just sloppy stand-up, but it leads into his segues to his wrestling. Kamaru Usman has become a really good stand-up fighter. But he's also slowing down with his age, plus a lot of the injuries
he's got good power.
He's got good power. He's got a great jab. All of those things. Yep. The speed of MVP is going to give him some problems. And the ability to wrestle. Now, I've heard through the grapevine that Kamaru Usman has problems with his knees. He's having a hard time getting a lot of the wrestling, staying up with the wrestling because of his knees. That's why he's focused a lot more on his stand-up these days. I think the speed of MVP would be a problem for him. Now, he may be able to take MVP down. He may be able, but I don't know if he'll be able to hold him down.
The speed of MVP is going to give everyone
It's going to give everyone problems.
You don't realize it until all of a sudden you're in there, how fast he is and how much distance he can cover.
Yeah. I think the Rachmanov fight is probably the toughest fight for him.
I think that's a tough fight.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I think the Colby sure is tough. But Colby is very hittable, and Colby can wrestle for 5 rounds. But we've also seen that MVP can continuously try to get up for 5 rounds. What you have to understand with MVP is, what you have to understand with him is he's tall, he's long, he's lanky, he's fast. His whole career has been about guys trying to take him down.
Yeah.
Only the best of the best have been able to hold him down. Now, I look at Logan Storley. Logan Storley is a better wrestler than Colby Covington. Logan Storley is a better wrestler than Kamaru Usman. He's maybe not. I think he is right up there with them in terms of MMA, but he still has a lot of growth to happen, though, in the MMA world. Okay? He still needs to work more on his stand-up. He still needs to work more on his fight IQ and developing more of his stand-up. But Logan Storley's younger than them. I don't know by how much, but he is younger than them.
Logan is 30 years of age.
But he's young in the sport. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. I know that he's, 29, 30 years, 31 years old, but he's still, these guys with Colby and with Kamaru, they're 3 or 4 years older than him. That's 3 or 4 years of being in the sport, fighting the top level of guys. That's knowledge earned over time. I think that with MVP, I think that the Rachmanov fight is a tough fight for him. I look at the Stephen Thompson fight being a great fight for the fans. Now, in terms of where it gets him, it gets him ranked number 5. If he wins that fight, that's the fight to make.
That's the fight that should take place now.
I'm not sure if they're going to do that. I look at the other guys. Can you pull up the welterweight division, please, in the UFC? Now, everyone's going.
Okay, but how about then? How about? All right, if they sign MVP, there's this guy that's right out of the top 10, Ian Machado Gary, who's got this great stand-up game. How about him against MVP?
I would love that personally for me. I would love to see that fight. But that being said, if I'm MVP coming in there, I'm 35 years old. I'm like, nah, 36 years old. I'm not taking that fight. Why? I'm coming in for top 10, and I'm going to be honest, he's signing for top 10 money. If he's leaving Bellator, because Bellator has the right to match, and he's going to go to the UFC, he's signing for top 10 money. He's probably signing for top 5 money, like Michael Chandler did. I'm going to be fighting the best guys. I'm going to fight the top 5, top 6. I'll take these, and that's it. I don't even know why they still have Kamzat in there. Dude, it's dumb. The guys that I think are going to give, I think Bilal gives him a hard time. Bilal's wrestling, his physical, his cardio, his his physical strength in the clinch, all of those things will give MVP some problems. Gilbert Burns would be a good matchup. It'd be a good fight back and forth depending on who can implement their game plan. MVP's not bad on the ground. He's not bad. No. He understands the submission, but he's nowhere near Gilbert Burns' level on the ground.
No, not that. But what he is good with, first off, he's got very big hands.
Yeah.
Okay. He's good at grasping the wrist and controlling people on the ground with those wrists and everything. And it's just a matter of he does what he does. He's not trying to be, and he has submissions. The very first time I reffed him, he pulled off a damn toe hold. I'm like, what The hell was that? You're supposed to knock people out, man. Then he went and did that in serious fashions in other fights I did. But look, he's good. And he can fight with any of those guys. But I do think that Shavkat Rakhmonov is as tough a fight for him as they can give him out of that top 10.
Yeah.
I would rather see the Thompson fight just for my sheer enjoyment in seeing those two guys. But I think that, honestly, Rakhmonov is a tougher fight for MVP than Covington. I think he's a tougher fight for MVP than just about anybody up there.
Well, just so you guys are at home, look, whoever he fights, let's say he comes in and fights right away, he fights Kamaru Usman. That's going to let you know how much money they paid him.
Oh, yeah.
If he ends up coming in, he fights someone in the top.
If he fights a Kamaru, he's not going to fight a Colby since Colby's already kind of with him. If he fights a Bilal or he fights a Burns.
Yep. If he fights one of those three guys, that means that they're paying him a lot of money. That means that he asked for championship money, and we're going to pay him the championship money, and we're going to see how it goes. And we'll restructure your contract if you lose. That's what we'll do. But if that should let you know on who he gets when he comes in. If he gets down there in the Jeff Neal and the other fighters that were down there, because Dave took it off the screen, so I can't see. Thanks, Dave. But if he gets into the Sean Brady, the Jeff Neal, even the Stephen Thompson, means that they gave him good money, but it's still like, okay, look, I'll give you one fight at this purse, and then when you get to the top 5, I'll give you the other fights at this purse. Is probably what they're doing. What I would imagine. That's normally how managers will negotiate it. Say, hey, I want somebody in the top 15, okay, and I'll take it for this much money. If I do win that fight, then you put me into the top 5 guy, whoever it is, okay, and then I will take it. Then my contract goes up from then on up. And then they've already negotiated their championship money. Like if I fight for the title, if I end up being the main event, all these other things. On how many pay-per-view dollars. They don't get any pay-per-view dollars.
But right now, we don't even know he's going there.
I think he is, John. Come on. You don't know he's going there, but we do.
Oh, I just based upon them showing him in the UFC from London. I say that, but I would think.
The reason why I say that, why do we say that, John? Go ahead. Tell everyone why we say those type of things.
Well, first off, if you're the UFC, you're not going to sit there and put somebody from a different promotion on the screen. There's no reason to. It doesn't do anything for you. But if you're in talks with them and you believe that they're going to be part of your roster, you want to start to introduce that person to the fan base, let them know, and then your broadcaster, commentators are going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, that's so and so," and it's just starting to get that name out there, and so they can start talking about it. That's what you do.
Well, what I take it from though is history has shown certain guys that have left other promotions. I'll give you an example: Jake Shields. They're buddy with Dana, sitting cage side with Dana, then behind Dana, then with Dana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, history has shown when a fighter is leaving another organization, Dana's kind of already got almost a full guarantee that they're coming. He'll put them down with him. He'll put them down cage side. He'll put them, in this area there. So that's when you'll see those fighters there. And so I believe he's going to end up there at the UFC. Good for him, man. Good for him. Yeah. He's coming towards the end of the career, and he wants to take a step and say, like, hey, I've been with Bellator my whole career. Let me see what happens over here. While I still have some speed left in me.